Alright guys, welcome back to another video where I am going to be going over systems as attack vectors. Learn how attackers exploit vulnerability in misconfigured systems and how you can protect them. Introduction. Task 1 Introduction. Continue exploring the SOC role in protecting the digital world, now focusing on systems as attack vectors. In this room, you will learn what the systems are and why and how threat groups target them, and what you can do as a SOC analyst to keep your company secure. Learning objectives. Number 1, learn the role of a system in a modern digital world. Number 2, explore a variety of real-world attacks targeting systems. Number 3, practice the acquired knowledge in 2 realistic scenarios. Prerequisites: you would have to have complete the junior security analyst room and the humans as attack vectors room. So those are the prerequisites. I have done both of these, and let's go ahead and click check. Oops. Disregard that. Disregard that. Definition of system. So imagine a castle again, but now with a trained gatekeeper who knows how to identify phishing and how to combat deepfakes. However, is if the lock on the main gate is fragile and cheap, guardian skills do not matter, as the enemy can just sneak into the castle while no one is watching. In cyber terms, threat actors can attack insecure systems directly without the user's knowledge. Definition of system. Where do the banks store your cards? Where are your emails stored? The answer: on a system, a physical server, a virtual machine, or a cloud platform like Microsoft 365. Protecting such systems is crucial. If the attackers breach one user's mailbox via phishing, they compromise a single mailbox. But if they breach a mail server, they now control all thousands of mailboxes. Each system type can have a different value for threat actors. For example, apparently it's taking a while to respond. I don't know why it's. Let me pause the video. Hold on. Okay. It's back. It's back. All right. For example, a breach system, a personal laptop of a school student, and its attack value would be to steal Steam profile and add PC to the botnet. A second breach system would be a laptop of the bank's senior IT administrator, and its attack value is to get access to the internal banking systems. Hmm. The third one would be the a mail server. Would be a mail server of a criminal law company, and then its attack value would be to dump all mailboxes and blackmail the victim. The fourth breach system would be a server at the heart of an industrial network, and its attack value would be able to encrypt the whole network with ransomware. And then the fifth one would be a government website management panel. Its attack value would be to damage the website content. In parentheses, we have defacement. I'm going to click on this link. Okay, website defacement changes the visual appearance of a website and or a website or a web page. So, okay, that's pretty interesting. So you got defacement and you also have activism. So those are the breach system and its attack values. So now we got to answer the questions below. Can cyber attacks happen without victim intervention? Yes or no? Yeah or nay? Yes, they can. They sure can. Can a breach of a single system lead to can lead can a breach of can a breach of just a single system lead to disastrous consequences? Absolutely, especially if they're connected to a network. In most serious attacks, the first goal is to gain access to the target system. What happens next depends on the attacker's motivation. They could steal data, they could deploy ransomware, they could destroy information without a way to recover. However, nearly all attacks begin the same way. Look at these three examples of how systems are attacked. So the first one is human-led attacks. It's no surprise that a system user or system users are often those who start the attack by inserting a malicious USB found on a street, downloading malware from pirated resources, or simply reusing a weak password everywhere. 81% of breaches involve stolen or breached passwords. Check out your passwords too. So if we go over here, pwned passwords, let's see. I'll put GoDaddy. Oh no, pwned. The password has been seen 5,268 times before in data breaches. So yeah, this is pretty nice for if you want to have like a secure password. So yeah, um, or you can just say pancakes. That one has been seen 114,000 times. So if you make your password simple, the more simple the password is, the higher the number it will be. Let's just say that. So make it as complex as possible. So I'm just going to put a bunch of random letters and numbers here. And I'm pretty sure it's going to have something here. Let's see. Good news, no pwnage found. The password wasn't found in any pwned passwords. Yeah, so I just typed in a bunch of random letters, numbers, and special characters. If you if you can just find a good password, a good password, you don't yeah, if you can just find a good password, and I know it's gonna be hard to remember, but it's always good to have that good password that you need. So really nice, right? Yeah. All right, let's go. Good news, no pwnage found. Hold on, I want to try something. Let me pause. Alright, so I just typed in a password. Really funny. I typed in a password saying F you. Yes, the F bomb and then you. And then this is what pops up right here. This password has been seen 2,521,481 times. Ain't that crazy? I just thought that was really crazy. You just type the F word in and then you put you and yeah, it's 2521 8481 2521481. So 2,521,481 times. Ridiculous. Okay. All right, moving on. Um so, um yeah, so check out your passwords too. There's an 81% right here. Let me click on that. Password statistics. This was updated yesterday. So, um, so yeah, there's the password statistics 2026, reuse, breaches, MFA, and password passkeys. A data-driven look at password reuse, credential theft, breach costs, and the transition towards passwordless authentication in 2025. So, yeah, we have a lot of complex passwords here, widespread password reuse. An estimated 80 to 85% of people reuse passwords across multiple sites, and roughly half of employees admit to reusing credentials at work. Alarmingly, 13% of users employ the exact same password for every account, creating a domino effect for attackers. You know, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but, this is a great site to check out. So, Deep Strike, really good. It was updated yesterday, and, it's really good to have, like, and it's also really good to understand, like, the importance of making sure that you have a good password. The last password that you should ever put in for any of your websites is the word is literally the words "fu." So don't do that. Um, Vulnerabilities. Every piece of software can have security flaws. In 2024, over 40,000. So this is a news article right here. So take a look at that whenever you can. Um, and remember, these are these URLs. Just take a screenshot and you can copy it and paste it on your URL. So yeah, for those of you who have snipping tool and can use for those of you who have snooping tool and can use um, image as text, that kind of thing, you can copy that and paste it. So that's really nice. Um, there's also a link in the description below too, if you want to do it yourself too. So, over 40,000 software vulnerabilities were published in more than 300 known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. So right here, so the America's Cyber Defense Agency, so CISA, were actively exploited in major attacks. Moreover, IT administrators often increase the risk by setting weak passwords and allowing unrestricted access to their systems. So on the left side, we have 100,000 outdated Windows hosts around the globe. And then on the right side, it'll be 325 new critical major vulnerabilities since 2024. Supply chain. Your PC is home to hundreds of apps, including web browsers, messengers, development, and entertainment software. Every app depends on thousands of libraries. If threat actors manage to breach one of the apps or libraries to push an update to all of its users, all of them will be compromised. This technique is called a supply chain attack. The most famous examples are the SolarWinds. So the SolarWinds compromise right here. Supply chain cyber operation conducted by APT-29 that was discovered in mid-December 2020. Okay, so yeah, that's that, and then 3CX. 3CX. There's a whole news article. Um, I definitely recommend bookmarking all this as like an upcoming as a person breaking to cybersecurity like me. Definitely recommend having all this down as information. So this is really nice things to know. So 3CX breaches, which affect thousands of companies. And then the emerging threat of supply chain. It is hard to protect from supply chain attacks since you can't always control all the software present on your laptop servers and web apps. Even TryHackMe once fell victim. Really? I didn't even know this. I didn't even know this. No, there is a There is a room on this too. Who knows? But anyway, yeah. So even TryHackMe fell victim to a supply chain in Lottie Player, a library used for room animations. So it fell victim to a supply chain in Lottie Player. Interesting. As a SOC analyst, you must be ready for such scenarios and know how to respond. What is the term for a security flaw that can be exploited to breach a system? Um, what is the term for a security flaw that can be exploited to breach a system? Would be vulnerability. Vulnerability. What is the name of the attack when malware comes from a trusted app or library? So that would be this one right here, supply chain. Yeah, so every app depends on thousands of libraries. If threat actors manage to breach one of the apps or libraries and push an update to all of its users, yeah, so that's what supply chain can do. Yeah, nice little security plus concept to learn when you're if you're getting your security plus, definitely check that out. Supply chain, hit check. Vulnerabilities, software vulnerabilities. Every piece of software has its flaws, but some take years to be discovered. For example, shell shock, a major Linux vulnerability, existed since 1992 but wasn't found until 2014. In the worst case scenario, attackers discovered the vulnerability before anyone else. This is known as a zero day, and only your SOC skills can determine whether it gets detected in time. Once a vulnerability is made public, it is assigned a common vulnerabilities and exposures CVE number. So shell shock, there's a link for that. Really nice. Zero day. There's also a 0 day vulnerability attack. So this is really nice to understand if you're taking Sec Plus. Um, So from that moment it's a race. Attackers develop exploits while defenders rush to update their systems. Here is a timeline of how Windows vulnerabilities evolve every year. So Eternal Blue is for CVE 2017 0144, and it's a critical SMB vulnerability. CVE 2023 24880, that one is a 0 day security bypass. The next one is Folina, a critical MS Office flaw. That's under CVE 2022 30190. And then we have Print Nightmare, which is a critical flaw in Print Spooler. And that one links to CVE 2021 2021 34527. Um, yeah, I want to know what these two are, but okay. But yeah, let's keep going. Responding to vulnerabilities. An answer to a CVE is always a patch, an update supplied by the software vendor. Even for 0 days, you would have to wait for a patch. Vigilantly monitor for exploitation traces and try to survive the stressful period before the patch is released. For example, by restricting access to a system to only trusted IPs, applying temporary measures provided by the vendor, blocking known as attack patterns on IPS or WAF. So, what is the CVE for the critical SharePoint vulnerability dubbed Tool Shell? Tool Shell. So if we go to the CVE timeline, I haven't even clicked on it too. So let's see. Accept. So this is the CVE timeline right here. And we're looking for tool shell. So the quickest way, just look it up. It's not there. We can try this one. Let's see. Is it, is that what it says? Tool shell? Uh, there's a number for this. It's not there. Maybe we should try. Let's see. Um, critical SharePoint vulnerability dub tool shell is on here. Let me try something. Oh, 7 and 8. Is this one? No. So this one is remote code execution. So this is another type of vulnerability. And this is really good if you're doing bug bounty hunting too. If you're like a penetration tester, this is really, and I mean, this is like, this is huge. This is probably your biggest textbook right here. Especially if it's updating every single day on vulnerabilities. This is probably like the textbook. This is like a textbook website for penetration testers. So definitely check out definitely check this out if you're new to if you want to get into penetration testing. Definitely check this out because penetration testing is all about finding vulnerabilities and preventing it from being exploited. So yeah, and with penetration testing, you obviously have the real world experience advantage because you can bug bounty hunt. You can you can do bug bounty hunts and they give you a certain amount of pay um, for hunting that one. So yeah, really nice. Um, Folina, a critical MS Office flaw. I'm gonna look this one up. CVE 2020 1472. An elevation of privilege, MSR, NRP, TC. So this is a net logon elevation of privilege vulnerability. Updates addresses. Um, does it have the words tool shell in there? Or no? Okay, what about the other one? No? Okay. Um, yeah, I'm trying to. What about this one? Let me see. CVE 2023 24880. Windows Smart Screen Security Bypass Vulnerability. Is there a way? SharePoint. I'm trying to find. Let's see. Um, let's see. Okay. Um, let's look it up on Google search. Since we can't find it here. So let's go ahead. Vulnerability CVE. So this is okay, so this is the one. So CVE 2025 53770. Yeah. So if we look this up, let's see. Will you find tool shell on here? Yeah, there it is. Found it. Huh. Funny. I even typed in SharePoint. I couldn't find anything, but nevertheless, we were able to find it. Um, yeah. I thought it was on the quote. That's why. And it didn't say Microsoft on here, so I'm like, it was a little bit confusing. You might need external research to answer this question. So yeah, that's what I did. So yep. The number is CVE 2025 53770. Or did I accidentally? Okay, go ahead. How would you respond to a detected vulnerability on your system? The answer to the common vulnerabilities and exposures is always a patch. So the answer is patch, right? Absolutely. The answer is a synonym of update. Yeah, exactly. Update, patch. Oh, you gotta patch it. Please. It's always good to go back to Simply Cyber News. Oh, you gotta patch it. Shout out to Jerry. Misconfigurations. On the other hand, a misconfiguration isn't a bug in the software, but a mistake on how the system was set up. often by the IT team. These errors happen frequently, usually to make things simpler, like using 1111 instead of typing a long password every time. Let's take a look at some real world examples. How 123456 password exposed charge for 64 million McDonald's job applications. There is a lot of information on here too throughout this room. Uh, Pretty nice. Well, I mean, sucks for them, but yeah, that's really bad. 123456. I wonder how much exposure it has on that one. So, how a misconfigured AWS cloud resulted in a breach of 106 million bank customers. That's really huge. So this is the one he's talking about right here. Capital One data breach. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. And then how improperly configured smart fridges are silently used on a full-scale botnet attacks. This is pretty nice for me. Personally, I would review. Personally, for me, I like to review things like this. It's really, I mean, I just think that these things are really interesting, and you know, um, you would never think that a refrigerator would get hacked, do you? pretty pretty awesome. But yeah, that's just how it is, man. Um, Another common scenario is when an IT department unknowingly introduces new flaws into security systems. Below is a simple example of how a critical database can be used, um, can be breached because of the insecure configuration. So, um, install the latest SQL database would be from no vulnerabilities or misconfigurations yet. Um, the database now stores sensitive data. You have to put the data, customer data, in the database. The first misconfiguration is a weak password. Yeah, set the password to 1111. The second misconfiguration, unrestricted access. Disable the firewall for the database or DB. So, responding to misconfigurations. Misconfigurations do not require a software update, just a better setup. Just a better setup. As a SOC analyst, you will often spot them only after threat actors exploit them. However, in smaller companies, you may also be responsible for more proactive response. For example, penetration testing, hire ethical hackers who simulate an attack and report on discovered security flaws. Vulnerability scans periodically run tools that can detect default passwords or outdated software. Configuration audits manually review the systems to match best practices like SIS benchmarks. Can a system patch or software update fix the misconfigurations? Yeah, I knew it was no, but I just wanted to see. I just wanted to see. I knew it was no, but I just wanted to see. Okay. Yeah, one patch or software update fix does not help with the misconfigurations. Which activity involves an authorized cyber attack to detect the misconfigurations? Hire ethical hackers who simulate an attack and report on discovered security flaws. So that would be this one, right? Penetration testing. Yeah. So practice. Remember our fortress analogy. Attackers are opportunists. They will often seek the easiest path whether through a flaw in the building itself or by manipulating someone to open the door. Attackers don't see human hacking and system hacking, quote unquote, as separate, so you should apply equal effort into protecting both humans and systems, combining mitigation and detection. Unlike humans, you can't train the system to spot the attack. However, you can train your IT department to configure the systems and explain how to avoid simple mistakes. Below are the most common mitigation resources to protect your systems. Patch management, patch management. So the mitigation is patch management, which is a process of tracking and patching the vulnerability systems, significantly reduces the chance of a successful attack. Training for IT means that if your IT knows the risk of misconfigurations, they are less likely to leave the systems unprotected. Network protection means that the system is much harder to breach if access to it is restricted to trusted people or IP addresses. And then antivirus protection, same with a same as with attack on humans, a good antivirus can stop or at least detect many different attacks. Practice view site. For this lab, continue your SOC analyst journey at TryHackMe. This time, decide what to do with the systems at risk and choose the best measures to protect your systems at the remediation plan tabs. Open the security dashboard by clicking the view site button, complete the task, and claim the flags to answer the task questions. So first one we have up here is HQ Mail 02 at risk, action required. A penetration team reported that our Exchange Mail server is affected by CVE 2024-49040. They managed to breach the server thanks to that CVE and said anyone could do it since our server is internet exposed. What action should be taken? Ask IT to immediately change passwords for all users. So if we look up this one, hold on, let's look up this one real quick. This one is Microsoft Exchange Server spoofing vulnerability. So that was the one that got mitigated. That was the one that got breached. I'm sorry. So I asked IT to apply a patch and update Exchange. I think that's the most logical answer here. But yeah, reading the answers, ask IT to immediately change passwords of all mail users. Ask IT to apply a patch and update Exchange, and then restrict access to the HQ Mail 02 server to only Office IPs. Yeah. So I clicked the second one, and it says correct decision. You've chosen to address the root cause, patch the vulnerability. Now hunt for threats that slipped in before you applied the patch. So yep, that's the first one of four. Corporate website at risk, action required. The threat actors managed to brute force an admin panel of our WordPress website and replace the main page with malware links and gambling ads. Which action should be taken? Restore the website from backups and close the alert. Update all website components to the latest version, or change the admin's password to a more secure one. A WordPress. Ooh. Right, main page with malware links and gambling ads. Mm, it could be a bad password. It could be a bad password. So Let's see. I think it's the third one. I could be completely wrong. I think it's the third one. Oh, it is. Oh, it is right. Okay. Correct decision. You've mitigated the root attack cause, breached credentials. You should now rush to restore the change pages and look for the left back doors. Threat intelligence alert. Action required. Our neighbor company was hit with ransomware attack a week ago. They say it started from an exploitation of their old Cisco firewall and advised us not to repeat their mistake and audit their Cisco devices. What action should be taken? Ensure all corporate firewalls are patched and do not have CVEs. Replace all Cisco devices with alternatives like FortiGate, or disable all firewalls until the thorough audit is finished. So it started from an exploitation from their old Cisco firewall. It advised us not to repeat the mistake from our Cisco devices. Okay. I think it's the first one, but I could be completely wrong again. Let's see. Correct decision. You found an outdated firewall in the London office and applied the latest patches before it was too late. So that's pretty good. All right, LPT 01518 at risk. Action required. You will observe an unusual spike of security events coming from the designer's laptop. A trusted 3D design application suddenly starts running malicious CMD commands. After the recent update, you need to quickly plan your next steps. Okay, so what action should be taken? It is an app misconfiguration made by the designer. It is a new critical vulnerability in the design app. Or it is a supply chain attack coming with the recent update. Okay. Starts. You observe. It is a supply. It is a supply chain attack coming with the recent update. Um, it does saying apps. Assign application starts running malicious CMD commands after the update. Um, you observe an unusual spike security events coming from the designer's laptop. Oh, I think it's supply chain. I could be wrong, but it's supply chain. Yes. When trusted apps suddenly start showing malicious behavior after an update, it is likely a supply chain attack. Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's supply chain. Um, yep. So that's it. THM, path, or reconfigure, copy. So we did that one. We can V for that one. And then the next thing we have to do is remediation plan. So remediation actions. So we got obscure server naming. Use random server names like X719 to confuse potential attackers. I don't know about that one. Antivirus protection. Install reliable antivirus software on all critical corporate systems. I'm not too confident on that one. Security training for IT. Regularly train IT staff on common misconfigurations and how to avoid them. I think that should be up there. Secure password policy. Enforce strong auto-generated passwords for all admin and service accounts. Absolutely. Um, Shared accounts. Ask IT to use a single shared account to simplify security monitoring. I don't know about that one. Patch management policy. Define a clear process for identifying and testing and applying software patches. Yep. And then website descriptions. Block public address to your company's website. Block public address to your company's website. To your company's website and protect it from threats. Yeah, I don't think that's the one right here. Um, I think I'm gonna go with antivirus protection. Yeah. How good did I do? Yes, sir. Easy. First try. Yep. Security training for IT. A well-formed IT team is less likely to leave the systems unprotected. Secure password policy number two. It is inconvenient, but it is the only way to protect against brute force attacks. Number three, we have patch management policy, which is an organized path management, um, which is a big step towards reducing risk of exploitation. And then number four, we have antivirus protection, a simple and effective response to common threats like data stealers or USB worms. So yeah, that's pretty nice. THM, the best systems defender. Absolutely. Easy, 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 easy. Well, easy for some of you. Easy for some of you. Um, if you're having trouble, um, if you're having trouble, check out my portfolio and click the video if you need the answers. So yep, there it is. Best systems defender. Hit check. Bada bing, bada boom, and you are all done. You are all set. Even though SOC analysts don't typically manage systems directly, understand the common attacks and offenses, and sharing them with the IT department is the key to broadening your cybersecurity perspective. If you want to grow quickly and be a strong team player, stay updated on the latest threats and always share the news with others. So they got five. So they got four of these: DFIR report, CISA, bleeping computer, and checkpoint. Um, I'm not gonna click on all four of them because we're done. And yeah, that is it. All right, and that is all. We will see you on the next one.